The force of God's wisdom. Linking the wisdom of God with force might appear strange at first glance, but not until we stop and are willing to ponder on such comparison in light of the Scripture and in addition to the wealth of evidence afforded to us by the unique and intelligent design of the whole of human creation, are we going to grasp the ramifications of such thoughts. Even the Apostle Paul, while emphasizing on God's judgment on those who suppress the truth by their wickedness, in his letter to the Roman Church, alluded to the fact that creation was conceived by him in such a way that his invisible qualities can be clearly seen by everyone. This essentially reinforces the idea that the whole of creation is underpinned on his wisdom. The force of God's wisdom was first seen in actions at the beginning, during the creation of the heavens and the earth. While the Scripture was silent on the details of how the heaven was put together, a wealth of evidence is made available to us as to the creation of the earth. The book of Genesis chapter 1 and 2 give us a perfect picture of what transpired in the creation week, but it is safe to say that by reading through the text one will be conditioned to notice that the Lord took a particular approach during the course of this task, as a common denominator of his modus operandi can be easily noticed, and that has to do with the fact that everything that was created was spoken forth into existence, as herein unveils the force of God's wisdom in action. From the observation of the sacred text, it becomes obvious to a diligent observer that reality was put together as a result of his declaration, and no wonder. The Apostle Paul highlighted one of God's attributes in his letter to the Romans by stating that Jehovah is the one who gives life to the dead and calls those things that be not as though they were. Therefore, it is safe to say that the actions of God in quickening the dead back to life reveals his supernatural wisdom, which basically differentiate him and places him on a unique level beyond the reach of both angels and humans, and equally reinforces the idea that the actions used in carrying out his miraculous acts is backed by a force which is deployed along his wisdom. The Bible also likened the beginning of wisdom as the complete fear of the Lord. What it means in essence is that to possess wisdom, one basically needs to fear the Lord. This basically buttresses idea that the force behind wisdom actually compels the fear of God in a man's heart and opens him up to a body of knowledge which launches him into a perfect understanding of who God is in terms of his power, glory, and sovereignty. So basically the action a man takes as a result of God's wisdom is primarily engineered by a force, and this is the ingredient that inspires a change in his heart, which is later revealed through his conducts and decisions. In conclusion, the wisdom of God is complex and extremely difficult for believers to comprehend all by themselves, but fortunately, the sacred scriptures have been a source of consolation, as it primarily affords the elect the privilege into richer insights of the inner workings of who God is in reference to his wise counsel and the force that accompanies it in the grand scheme of things. This lesson is fundamentally an attempt to shine a light on some of the attributes of God that might be silent and invisible to believers, but which are equally significant in aiding them comprehend more of him and come to the full maturity of Christ. Thanks for watching the video. Please like and subscribe to my channel.